Hi, this is Björn from gilmourish.com. Today I'm going to talk about how you can improve your sustain by using different techniques. As you can see in the article on the site, there's a couple of things you can do with your pedals, your amp and stuff like that to improve the sustain both on stage and at home. There's different techniques for those. So I'm going to start off by playing just a small piece for you that you might recognize, and we'll go through the different techniques. So I'm mainly using three different techniques to vibrate the strings and to sustain the notes. But I'm going to start off with the picking. It's easy to forget that the picking is also a part of creating a rich sustain. And you can try this yourself by just picking very gently, or like David does, by picking very hard on the string. And of course the tone is, the volume of the string is higher, but you also get a much more vibration in the strings. So it's wise to use different picking techniques as well. But I'm going to show you the three different vibrato techniques. So I'm going to start off with the fast one, which is kind of a B.B. King trademark that David uses a lot. It's a fast vibrato. And again, I'm holding the string very close to the fret for the right pitch, and it also seems to sustain better that way. The fast vibrato starts off the second you pick the string. You don't leave much room for the string to sustain by itself. I'm using this a lot on distortions and heavier overdrives. It seems to both brighten up the tones a bit, and it's easier to control any feedback you might get and stuff like that. The second one is a slow vibrato, and the trick there is to pick the string, hold it a second or two, and then slowly start to vibrate, just like a Leslie. You see, I'm holding the string a second or two and then start to vibrate, and faster and faster. And this is also a great technique to both improve your cleans, and also to, if you have any feedback in your tone. I'm not talking about that screaming awful feedback, but the feedback that you can work with, by explaining that in the article. Then this technique is a great way to work with the feedback by holding the string, and then you start the feedback, you hear the feedback, and you're sort of implementing that in the tone. You get the feedback, and then you start to vibrate. And this is also a similar to the technique that you can use with the tremolo arm. And David uses both techniques a lot. It's mainly the same thing, but by using the tremolo arm, it seems to add a slightly smoother vibrato and sustain. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways to bend the strings, and this also improves your sustain. And by using the techniques I showed you, by vibrating the strings, you can greatly enhance the sustain on each note. David bends his strings a lot, mostly with his left hand, but also with the tremolo arm. And bends, of course, is something he picked up from the old blues guys like B.B. King and Peter Green and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you a basic bend. And of course it's important to bend to pitch, and again I'm keeping my fingers fairly close to the fret for the right pitch, and it also seems to sustain the tones better. So I'm going to use the techniques with this bend. This is the slow vibrato, which you also can use do with the tremolo arm. And as you can hear, it's fairly the same tones you get. I'm not that comfortable with using fast vibrato with the bends. It's nothing David does that often, but of course you can implement that in your technique as well. But the slow vibrato seems to work better. So let's go with the basics once more. Keep your finger as close to the fret as possible without going over it, and use different techniques to improve your solos or just your picking. Again, the picking technique is important too. The harder you pick, the more sustain you get, because the string vibrates more. So the slow vibrato, you just hold the string 1 or 2 seconds and then slowly start to vibrate. And you can do this with the tremolo as well. And the fast vibrato. So this is mainly the different ways to both sustain a single picking and your bends. So together with different pedal combinations, the settings on your pedals and the amp and stuff like that, you can greatly improve your sustain and turn it from a choked, dull tone to those rich violin-like tones you can hear from albums like Delicate Sound of Thunder, Pulse, stuff like that. So check out the full article on gilmourish.com.